All right, guys, here's your mini training on why eating healthy is not as expensive as you think. If you have not been eating healthy because you think it's going to be too much money, or if you've been eating healthy but you feel like you're spending a lot of money, you don't think you can keep up with it, here's how we're going to go about this. Number one, if you cook your food from home, you will always spend less money than even if you were to go to a fast food restaurant. Even if you're going to buy from the dollar menu, it's always going to be more affordable to go to the grocery store, buy your fresh meats, buy your fresh produce, prepare it, and make it at home. So if you plan it and you prepare it and you make it, it's going to be less money per meal. Now, if you go out and you purchase something that's pre-made, you have to remember that you're paying for convenience. You're paying for saving on time, saving on cooking, cleaning, and all of those things. And so sometimes things are worth spending your money towards because it's going to give you something back. And that's what we call an investment, not an expense. An expense is something that you spend money on and you never get anything back for it. So putting gas in the car, you always have to put more gas in the car and more gas in the car. So that's an expense, right? Something that you're going to get back, an investment, is the more you fuel your body, the more you take care of your body, the more energy you're going to have, and the less likely you are going to have to spend on like hospital bills later. Also, there is no price you can put on the value of how good you feel when you eat these nutritious foods. Now, with that being said, if your perception of a healthy food is a fresh pressed juice or a smoothie, then that is not correct, okay? So you might be spending $6 or $7 on a smoothie bowl and thinking, okay, I'm being healthy. But if you listen to my most recent episode of the Gym Wits podcast about foods with a health halo, then you would learn that actually that's not worth putting your money towards. If you were to spend that money on fresh produce, so fresh fruits and vegetables, that is going to stretch a lot more when you eat those foods in their whole form rather than wasting it by juicing it. That new craze about the celery juice, oh my God, that makes me nuts, because you're spending all this money on celery and then juicing it when you could be spending the money on less celery and eating it and getting the same amount of benefits. So don't fall for those quick fixes and the fad diets and all that, and stop putting your money towards that. Instead, put your money towards the things that matter, which is whole foods. So if you take a look at your grocery cart and a lot of the stuff in there have foods and like items with the ingredient list of words you can't pronounce, I want you to swap it out for something more nutritious. Okay? So a good example of this is a lot of people are, they think that canned fruits and vegetables or frozen fruits and vegetables are not something that are considered healthy. But actually, the nutrition quality on fresh, canned and frozen fruits and veggies is sometimes better actually than the nutrition quality on fresh produce. In general, they're all good for you. What you want to be mindful of are things that have added sugar or salt, and any added preservatives. So if you have a bag of, say, frozen broccoli, but there's like a cheese cream sauce on it, we want you to swap it out for something that's just frozen broccoli. Okay, now if it says organic, chances are it's going to be a little bit more expensive because of the way that it's been processed. And to be honest, guys, you don't have to buy organic for it to be healthy. An organic broccoli is just as nutritious as regular broccoli, okay? So don't get fooled by the fact that it says organic and that makes it healthier. If you choose to eat organic because of the way that it's grown and maybe certain pesticides that are used, then that's totally fine. We can honor that. But from the nutrition standpoint, nothing is different. So don't feel like you have to have something that's organic for it to be healthy, okay? A really, really good episode you want to listen to is the Gym Wits podcast, is the Health Halo episode. And that's where I talk about all these different foods that we think are healthy and are perceived as healthy and are marketed as healthy, but they're not actually healthy. So don't fall for it. What you really want to focus on is if you're looking at your cart and most of the stuff in there are things like soda and juice, you, instead of spending, $3 on a carton of orange juice, instead, or like a gallon of orange juice or whatever, use that money towards something that's going to stretch a little bit more. Whole grains are a great option for that. Things like quinoa, brown rice, whole wheat bread, whole grain pastas. Although they might be a little bit more expensive, like a couple of cents more, they're going to make you feel fuller for longer, and they're going to have so many other nutritional benefits. So the great thing about foods that are high in fiber and that are nutrient dense, is you're going to feel satiated. And so you're going to be able to cut back on those cravings and be less likely to go for those impulse buys, which are those things, at the end of the grocery aisle, like the candy bars and the chips and, or even like the dollar pizza slices. Like, although they're super cheap and they don't cost a lot in the moment, they have long-term effects on your health, and that immediate satisfaction goes away really quickly, and we usually start to feel a little bit sluggish and tired. And I don't know about you guys, but in my eyes, there is no price, no amount of money that is worth how good I feel. So honestly, there was a Harvard study, where it basically showed that to eat healthy versus less healthy, it's on average, I think, $1.60 more per day. And so yes, technically, is it more money to eat a little healthier? Yes. Is it expensive though? $1.60? Can you find $1.60 per day in your budget? Let's think about it. What are you buying at Starbucks, and why are you spending your money towards those Frappuccinos or Dunkin' Donuts with like all those sugary beverages, all those things, those little things that you keep picking up that you're not paying attention to? Instead of putting your money towards that, let's put it towards something that's going to give us a return on our health, and also make us feel good in the moment. Okay. Another thing you can do is buy in bulk. When something goes on sale, get a lot of it, so that way it doesn't, like those frozen vegetables, the canned vegetables, get a lot of those, so that way if your fresh produce, number one thing is you want to buy your fresh produce when it's in season, but produce does go bad quickly. So instead of creating food waste, maybe buy fresh produce in the beginning of the week, prepare it, and then towards the second half of the week, when that food starts to go bad or you feel like you don't have enough of it, then you're going to go into your freezer, into your cupboard, and pull out those things that you can prepare. Even the meats that go on sale. Look at your circular. All of the supermarkets that you go to have a circular of food items that are on sale. You want to review that and plan your menu around the items in the circular. Okay? And so if chicken breasts are on sale this week, get a lot of them and stock them in your freezer. So that way when you are kind of short on cash, you can just pull that out, defrost it, and make your meal around that. Okay? So another thing that is really, really helpful is portion control. So if you utilize that plate method, and I talk about it so much, if you fill up half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables, you mostly like say salad or chicken or, spinach, green beans, something like that. And then you do like a quarter of your plate, you do like a baked sweet potatoes. They're an excellent source of carbohydrate. They keep you fuller for longer. And the other quarter of the plate is about a palm-sized piece of protein, a deck of cards thick. That's going to make you feel fuller, and it's going to be easier to stick to that one plate, so you're not going back for seconds. Because every time we go back for seconds, you have to think about it. That's like you're eating more money, right? Anytime you throw food away, you're throwing away money. So we want to be conscious of reducing food waste and also sticking to proper portions, and that will help you to make your dollars stretch a little bit more. I have a lot more tips. If you do not follow my podcast, the Tips with Toni podcast, I have a podcast episode all about how to eat healthy on a budget, and I believe I give 7 different ways in which you can do it. So this is a little sneak peek into that, because with IGTV, I only have 10 minutes to talk to you guys, and we're kind of getting up to that mark. So subscribe to the Tips with Toni podcast, subscribe to the Gym Wits podcast. If you have any questions, if you need me to take a look at what you're eating, what your budget is, I can help you. I promise. I've done this with thousands of clients. I do this with myself personally. I believe that we have to eliminate all excuses to healthy living and make it work for you. And so sometimes we got to be a little bit mindful of what we're doing and think about how to make it sustainable and applicable to the individual. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just reach out. And thank you for watching. Talk to you soon.